And then we're gonna spend some time now popping these beans, getting ready for them to be canned, and we're gonna make some dilly beans out of them. It is Saturday morning, and today we're gonna go check out the garden. Because Andrew's been down so much, I've been having to do more stuff inside. I probably haven't been in this garden in 3 weeks, I would guess. I maybe stepped foot in there once or twice, just quickly. The kids have been taking care of watering it, and we have had some family and friends that have come over and helped a little bit. They've picked a few things, but I have no idea what it looks like in here, so we're gonna go check it out and see how things are doing. We're just gonna check this out row by row. Now this is the raspberries there. They're not doing much of anything this year. They had a rough start. I planted this row last spring, and most of them didn't survive the winter for some reason. And so we had to replant a lot of them this year. But they're just new canes this year, so they're not gonna produce anything. And we got some peas here, which they look like they're pretty well dying off. It's getting too hot for them. We're still getting some peas off of them though. Those pretty good looking peas. But that heat just kills them pretty quick. This is the one I know is gonna need some attention, are these beans. Let's see what we can find in here. Yeah, there's quite a few in there. I'm gonna leave those for now. We'll come back and pick all those, but I'm probably gonna get several gallon buckets full of beans there. Potatoes are still going strong. It looks like just a little bit these vines are starting to die back. They've also got a few weeds in them, but not too bad. They were big enough that they choked most of the weeds out. The vines are starting to die back a little bit, which is probably 3-4 weeks earlier than normal, but those potatoes were huge. That's probably earliest we've had big potatoes like that ever. Beets is what we got next. The size of that thistle. Bam! They're looking great. Once again, just a little overrun with weeds. But once I pick those out, you can see the leaves on these things are looking excellent. So I'm sure. Let's see the beets underneath. You can see them, but those beets are looking great. I don't think we're gonna get lots of beets there. I think we're gonna do fine with those. This, on the other hand, you can hardly even see. Somewhere in there is lettuce. A little ridiculous there. Starting to bolt. There's one right there that's bolted completely. Here's something that's starting to bolt. But that'll be chicken feed. You can see those weeds just completely overrun down there. It should be all lettuce through there. It's just completely covered in weeds. Next row we got some onions. Onions are doing all right. They're holding their own through all that weeds, but same thing. They're just overrun. Can't complain about those. Good looking onions. Some rutabaga looks good. I think we've never grown rutabaga before. This is all from our radishes. It's gone to seed. Probably end up pulling a lot of this out today. I do want to try growing some of the seed, see if we can harvest it and plant it ourselves, but I'm not sure. I mean, that's tons of it there. We don't need that much. At the end of that, we've got our carrots. There's actually a few of them that started flowering down there, so I might see if I can get some seed off of that too. We got here a row of tomatoes. Actually, one tiny little tomato down here. These tomatoes have been just awful looking this year. Just everything is all curled up. And it's not just one plant, it's everything. Just the weather has not been great for them, but again, full of weeds. And in between there, we've got some, can't tell if we're growing peppers or plantains. There's a pepper and there's plantain. That's just all growing on its own. We got lots of pepper plants. There's actually not looking too bad. Some of them anyway. I don't see any peppers on them yet, just small ones. Oh, there's a little pepper growing in there, just a little guy. Corn, on the other hand, is doing great. Show you this is funny. Here I am, 6'3", standing next to that corn. It's about 6 foot tall corn. We'll bring it on down here. It just gets shorter as we go. We hit this little end. Look at the size of that thing. That's got to be what, 8 inches tall? It's already starting to tassel. An ear of corn is going to be taller than that plant. I don't know what we're going to do with that thing. Yeah, we got 3 good looking rows of corn there. You can see we've got some pretty good size looking ears on there. All right, now let's check these ones out. We got some celery that seems to be doing all right. These ones are cauliflower, I believe. And they look like they're doing nothing. They're still hanging in there though. We got our broccoli, which some of this I should probably pick today. I don't know if that's gonna even be good. It's a lot of it's starting to go to flower already, so it's probably no good. We did have some cabbages. I pulled those. Those were great looking cabbages. Maybe I'll take inside. We got them in the fridge right now. But I believe my sister pulled those yesterday. And then Brussels sprouts. Most of them didn't germinate. You're not doing anything. We got some Swiss chard, which is rocking right now. Need to eat some of that. Kale is doing excellent still. Even though it's been hot, it hasn't bolted or anything like that. It's looking good. Spinach, which you can barely see in there, but I need to pick most of that. It's starting to bolt. Getting a little bit too big, so we're gonna have to pick all of that today too. Sages. That's tiny. Once again, never grown sage before. I'm not sure how big it gets, but that looks like it's not much. Some parsley, which is looking great. We could use a lot of that. We have some basil, which is coming on pretty good. They're still a little small, but plenty of useful basil there. And then we got some dill, which is doing amazing. It's probably needs to be picked a while ago. And we got our cilantro, which is also going to flower. I believe with the cilantro we can still pick the bottom leaves and use them just fine. And this top is just going to become coriander seed. So we might just harvest some of our own seeds from that and plant it again next year. But it should have been picked a while ago, dried. All right, now we're getting into all of our squash and zucchini. Let's see what we got in here. Growing a few zucchinis. Looks like somebody's been picking it maybe. Big old zucchini down there. Pick that today. Let's pick it right now. Bam! There's a zucchini for you. Probably a little big, but we can Use it for some zucchini bread at least. It has just been a rough year for our garden. We usually have zucchini and crookneck squash, yellow squash coming out our ears by now, which we still might yet. But usually by the 1st of August, even halfway through July, we are just overrun with squash. I don't even know what this one is, but it's a little guy. There's a little cucumber there. Let's see a good looking cucumber here in a while. And ooh, look at the size of that thistle. Check that out. We got another cucumber plant here. I think it's doing halfway decent. Let's see what we got over on this side. No idea what that is, but it's not growing anything yet. And then we get into the big stuff. Look at the size of those plants. Those are doing awesome. So this should be all of our, more of our winter squash. And once again, I don't know what's what in these ones right now. I need to go back and look and see where I planted everything. See if we can find anything in there to tell us what it is. One thing I know we do have is a watermelon down here. Let's see if we can find it. It's in there, I see it. I'm not getting any watermelon off that thing. Where are you at? There's that little watermelon plant. There's no way there's a watermelon growing off of that. I see a little tiny one. About the size of a pea. Yeah, these ones, I can see all sorts of squash growing on these ones. Let's see if we can find out and tell what it is. Here we got one. Let's see that. I don't know what that squash is. That must be a new variety that we haven't planted that this year. This one here looks like it's the beginning of a spaghetti squash. Or a banana squash, maybe. Yeah, it might be a banana squash. Somewhere in there, there's probably some giant pumpkins, some banana squash. So yeah, that end is doing excellent. Looks like I got my workout cut out for me this morning, trying to get everything picked up in here that I can. I'm gonna spend most of the morning probably picking peas or beans to start with, and then we'll see what we can do with the rest of this. Hopefully we can get some cleaned up around it and get some stuff looking a little better in here, figure out what we've got. We'll jump into picking those beans. So I've got about 120 feet of beans to pick today. I've made it about 10 feet. There's 10 feet worth of beans. I got about 120 feet to go, so I'm gonna go find some help because there's no way I'm gonna be able to get this done on my own. I've been letting the kids sleep in because they've been having kind of a stressful week, but it's time for them to get up and get to work. We'll go find them. We got our neighbor from just up the road has come to help us a little bit with moving some dirt. He brought his tractor. We'll see, he's got dirt piled up here, but we got a big pile in front that used to be part of some landscaping that we were not particularly happy with. And so we're pulling it out. We're gonna smooth it out and just put some grass there, but he's helping us move that real fast. We'll go check it out. We got the beans all picked yesterday. We didn't get as much done in the garden as I had hoped, but I did want to show you the beans we got and the cabbage that we got yesterday or this last week. And then we're gonna spend some time now popping these beans, getting ready for them to be canned, and we're gonna make some dilly beans out of them. So we'll show you that, but we'll look in here in the fridge and see what we got. There's our cabbages. All right, so here's the cabbages we've got. We've got 4 of those. Those are probably the best things we've pulled out of the garden this year. They did excellent. And then here are the beans that we've got, this whole bag. Get back there far enough. So we're gonna go snap those beans and get ready to can them. There is the end result. Our beautiful jar of dilly beans. Now we'll just give it a couple weeks to ferment and we'll have some delicious dilly beans. We'll see you later.